The next two slides I hardly have to do now that Ryoko said something earlier today, but I wanted to clear up a misconception that I heard before the meeting and even during the meeting about orders of evacuation and return in Fukushima. And this first one might be a bit surprising. Ryoko said basically the same thing earlier today, and it sounds so strange that I double-checked it with some colleagues who work in the Japanese government who were part of making the decisions. But the initial evacuations on March 11th and 12th, decided by the Japanese government, first the prefecture and then 3 different evacuation orders given by central government, were not based on specific numerical dose criteria. There was huge uncertainty. They didn't know what was going on inside the plant. They had almost no information. They were facing terrible consequences, and they told people to leave. That's what it boils down to. I'm sure it was much more discussion than that, but that's what it boils down to. However, about a month later, on April 22nd, after there had been some better characterization of the radiological conditions around the area, evacuation was ordered for an area northwest of this 20-kilometer zone, this time based, at least in part, on avoiding a dose, and the dose in this case was 20 millisieverts during the coming year. So no one was evacuated to avoid 1 millisievert. I've heard that many times, a few times here, but many times before, it didn't happen. In terms of lifting evacuation orders, Ryoko showed exactly the same figure I have, in fact. She mentioned already that there were 3 criteria for return. 2 of them had to do with being able to live there in a reasonable way, infrastructure and so on. And there was one dose criteria. There is one dose criteria, and that's avoiding doses more than 20 millisieverts per year. As she explained, calculated quite conservatively, so really people don't get anywhere near 20 millisieverts when they return. But again, people were not held back from returning to their former places of employment and living based on 1 millisievert per year. It's been 20.